Today with us, we have William, a co-founder of Sproutly. And Sproutly is the first project to turn carbon capture into the real world revenue, is what I can see from the website. And super excited to discuss how exactly do you do that. And basically, William, very nice to see you. And the first thing I would ask you, can you explain a bit the essence of your project? What are you guys doing and building?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Maxime. It's very nice to be here. And I'm Billy. I'm one of the co-founders of Sproutly, and together with Jaap, we built what we are doing right now. And basically, a short intro about Sproutly is that we are tokenization and data platform for nature-backed assets. We work with local plant partners and grow real trees and restore ecosystems within the Amazon and in Angola. And while we do that, we connect it with verified impact on chain. So our goal is to make nature measurable, investable, and composable across all Web3 while combining it with the typical Web3 use case, right? Like staking, NFT farming. But we want to make it like a broader system. Basically, we have hyper use cases.
Okay. And regarding the assets that you're tokenizing, as the trees, the carbon credits, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so what we do, we tokenize the trees itself. We call them NF trees, and we tokenize the carbon absorbed, and we call them carbon debits. Because if you look at the traditional world right now, the term carbon credits is a bit smudged. People don't like it. They
Yeah.
compare it with fraud. That's why we came up with a narrative called carbon debits, and we IP'd it within the European Union because we only issue it after it's being absorbed by the trees.
Okay. And when you issue this credits and basically you have this products, NF3s and carbon debit, right? As you coined it. And what are your customers and clients who are basically that companies or individuals who need that kind of products?
Yeah. So basically, the RWA movement connects real value to digital markets, right? But in Web3, sustainability is not that much accepted. We work with a few Web3 projects like Ape Bonds, QuickSwap, Moonbeam, Camino Network, VeChain, Aurora, and we help all these projects and chains to offset the carbon footprint. And what we do is but because we are verified assets, we are certified by the United also, the main of our clients are enterprises and sustainability-focused investors and climate projects. But we, for example, work with Budget Energy from the Netherlands. We have a pilot with Lufthansa, and we are working with a few loyalty programs to integrate their loyalty systems like Flying Blue Miles and those kinds of things. So basically, it's a variety of clients that we have.
Okay. And if it's something that we can discuss, can you elaborate a bit on the pilot with Lufthansa? Because as far as I know, it's a pretty major airline company.
It is one of the biggest in the world. Yes. So in traditional finance, you have to have these certifications, right? And you have long-term agreements. And Lufthansa is now offsetting flights with another partner. But what they want, they have a blockchain integration pilot where they want to see if they can offset the emissions from the searching for flights, because that is not something they offset. And it's perfect to integrate that with our microtransactions. So you have to imagine that for every flight that's being booked, people search a few thousand times. So if you want to fly somewhere, and from the Netherlands, if I want to go to Brazil to check up on our trees, then I'll probably search 10, 20, 30, 40 times before I book a flight. And I use search engines and comparison websites. And if you add it all, and then on average, I think it was, I can't remember, but it was 2,000 or 3,000 searches before an actual flight is being booked. And all computing power, electricity, we are working on it in a pilot to offset those carbon footprints.
Okay. Okay, I understood. And what about the whole economy model behind the tokenization that you're using? From your website, I saw that you have, I think, the tree token system, seed, and some other assets. Can you elaborate a bit about how your economic model is working? What kind of assets, like fungible tokens, do you have in the system?
Yeah. So when we start, we always start with planting actual trees. We pre-finance them and we make sure that they are planted first, and then we get back the geolocation of the tree that is planted. We planted 711,250 agroforestry systems. We call them trees because the other word is like a whole mouthful of text, but basically they are food forest. And after we get the geolocation back, we mint them on chain, and the geolocation, species, planting date, they're all in the metadata. And that's an NFT, right? So it's an NFT. Then what we do, the NFT is absorbing, so the tree is absorbing CO2, and the CO2 needs to be issued towards the owner of the tree. And the CO2 we also tokenize. In the final step, because holding CO2 does not give you a claim for carbon neutrality, you need to offset it, right? So you need to use it and burn it. You create a carbon reduction certificate, and that carbon reduction certificate is again an NFT because it looks at the data from the CO2 and from the trees. You have to imagine that if you compensate 1 ton of CO2, it is possible that in your dashboard you have 1,000 different geolocations of trees providing your CO2. So it's the ultimate transparency.
Understood. And you have also a seed token where it fits the whole flow.
Yeah, so seed is from the Web3 side, right? So seed is our main token in our whole ecosystem. We operate on our own blockchain, the Sproutly blockchain. Seed is the gas token. You need seed to stake to earn more NF3s. You get voting powers. Yeah, we have about 10. I think we have the most use cases, and that's that are known in Web3. They are all in a white paper where you can see it, and it's also explained. But basically, we have a colleague Jaap. He likes to call it hyper use cases because we have so many. We don't want to be the next project that just launches a token because of they need a token. That doesn't make sense. You need to use it within your ecosystem.
Okay. Can you elaborate on just one of the use cases that you find
Yeah.
interesting?
Yeah, I think, and I think it's the most unique. If you are sick and tired of Web3, sometimes you are done with the whole market, right? And we offer you the option to burn your seed tokens, and you can convert it into membership shares of the traditional company that we have. It means that if you burn your tokens, you are out of the Web3, but we reward you and you get profit sharing in our traditional B2B company. And I think that's never been seen before. You get profit sharing within Web3, but people can mess with it, right? I mean, you can, but now you are getting actual membership of our traditional company. And only the Netherlands has that kind of entities. It's called a corporation. And you have to do KYC. It's a whole, because you become a member of a traditional entity. It's like becoming a member of your sport club, right? But now your membership has rights, and your right is to have a part of the profit.
Is it basically you're kind of off-ramping from the utility token into the equity side of your business? Is it an equity or different? It's
Nah, it's
different.
not. It's profit share because in a corporation doesn't have equity. Well, me and Jaap also don't have equity in the company. We are the majority of. We have the most membership rights. So that's how you know.
Oh, it's a corporation. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it now. I get it now. Perfect.
Yeah.
And what can you do with this? You can basically participate in the governance.
Yeah, it's like like a normal company, right? So we have yearly membership meetings, and your membership gives a right for profit, and that's what you can do.
Okay.
And that's one. I mean, that's the most difficult use case that I'm now explaining you. But it's the most. I think it's the most unique because, yeah, it's not. I'd never seen it before.
Cool. Perfect. That's indeed very interesting. And I think a lot of legal architecture was put into that because from the technical standpoint, it's rather straightforward, but from the legal, I think it's pretty complex.
Yes, yeah, it's all KYC compliance. Yes, it's yeah.
Yeah. And you also mentioned the Web3 side of your project. Do you have anything available for, let's say, Web3 investors and basically Web3 folks who are searching for some yield and just overall would consider seed or maybe other assets of your ecosystem as the yield-bearing assets? Or what kind of options do you have for Web3 investors? Maybe some composability options as well.
Yeah. So besides the seed, we do a public sale of seed in a few weeks.
Okay.
So that's something that they can invest in. But I mean, if you look at the broader picture, I mean, a token is just a token, but if you look at why we are appealing to RWA investors is that they traditionally look for stable, auditable, and low volatility assets, right? We are nature-backed, so we are officially a nature-based asset. And we meet those standards because it's a tree, it keeps on generating CO2 for you, and that CO2 you'll be able to sell or use. And the yield that we have comes from the companies that buy the carbon offsets. So, for example, if you now want to buy a ton of CO2, you pay $20. And in the Web3 side, we open a pool where people then can pledge their CO2 and get rewarded for pledging their CO2. But they have a selling option. Yeah, and I think because we are composable, you can also use it in lending, staking, or bundled in high RWA portfolios. And that opens the door through traditional climate funds for both retail and institutional investors.
And overall, how do you see the natural backed tokens? Because I think this concept is still not that mature, right? If we're talking about traditional money market industries and overall assets, fixed income assets and overall, how do you see nature backed assets playing out in the future?
I think they are standalone. I think we're becoming a new asset class because it's standalone next to gold or silver. I just saw that silver now is all-time high. Gold was all-time high. You see real estate, but they have intrinsic value and growth, both biological and economical. And to reach that scale as a nature class, we also need more standardized verification, regulation. Nobody likes it in Web3, but we need regulation. A strong liquidity so investors can easily enter and exit these markets.
Yeah.
I think we are on the way forward, but not there yet.
And you mentioned you're built on your own blockchain. So you basically build is it a foundational layer 1 or L2 on top of something?
No, it's L2 on the near ecosystem, but it's the
Oh,
EVM part. So we are EVM, but we built on near. And that is because we were in talks with we've initially launched on Polygon, but we didn't get any support from Polygon.
Okay.
We have, right? They claim to help Web3 and RWA projects, but they don't. Then we were in contact with Base, and Base basically said, hey guys, what you are doing takes up so much transactions that we don't want to congest.
Really?
Or yes, we do millions of transactions because of the CO2. Every CO2 is one transaction, and it's 175 kilos per NF3, and we have 711,000 times 175. So we have millions of transactions.
Yeah.
We tried it on Moonbeam, so we had, and that we were constantly in the top 5 of most active contracts. And now Near said, you know what, guys, we love what you guys do, and we want to give you your own chain. So they did. We participated in a program with them, and now we can have everything on our own chain. We are even in talks with Circle from USDC. They said, oh, it's super cool what you guys are doing, and we'd love to also bridge USDC to the Sproutly chain. So it's, good things are ahead.
Interesting. So it's surprising that you mentioned that Base basically rejected your project to evolve.
No, not rejected, because they love what we do, and they said, okay, we like you here as a layer 2 on Base, but they said a layer 2 is not, then you still congest. So they said what we can do is do a layer 3.
Okay.
But then Near came, and Near, so we still have our C token on Base, but we do a token launch on Base, but the whole ecosystem will be on Sproutly chain.
Perfect. Understood. I think that I thought that initially that chains are basically looking for the projects with a high transaction frequency elements. And that's curious that they exactly told you an opposite, that basically you're going to be congesting the chain. But it's good for
They
you.
like high transactions, but not if you congest the network, right? You saw a few I think it was last year that you saw on Polygon and on Solana, you saw these coins and games popping up, and everything was congested. You had to pay, I don't know, a few euros for a transaction. And that is what they want to avoid now.
Perfect. That's great. So now you're building on your own chain to control kind of the foundation layer. That's interesting.
Exactly.
And just wrapping up our conversation, what do you think overall of the RWA asset adoption? What's going to be the next most adopted assets in the next, let's say, 3 years?
Yeah, I believe and I hope that tokenized nature will become a core category within the RWA space. We even call us an RWI, an RWIA chain, a real world impact asset. So I think that is the most important, to have verified environmental assets, that they will be traded, staked, collateral, just like any financial product. And Sproutly, we aim to provide the foundations for that shift. I think that we are first movers and that we are here with the right foundation to build this further out. And I think the next few years that will become more clear, even with the traditional legislation kicking in for carbon offsetting and environmental impact reports. I think we are right on time and here for the next growth cycle.
Perfect. Thanks for that. So wish you a great luck. Everyone who is building in tokenization space, especially who are developing a new asset class, or previously you're not that liquid. So that's a great level of innovation here. So wish you great luck. And thank you so much for our conversation, and looking forward to your progress for the project.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me and looking forward.
Perfect. I will stop here. It's loading. Yeah, everything should be good.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I think it was a great conversation.
Thank you.